All right. Looks like we had a little bit of a problem there with the internet. So I'm going to finish this up here with you. And sorry that the internet went down. That is weird. It does happen though. I am out in the country. So I'm going to finish this with you if you're joining me on this live. Ooh, I feel so bad that the internet connection went out on you. But you can't, you got to work with what you have. So I'm just going to come in here and finish this one up with a little bit of, there we go. Yeah, sorry you guys about the internet. Again, this is a small kind of rural town that I'm in. So the internet doesn't always hold up, and I was afraid it might happen, but you get the point. It's still an oval that you're basically doing with your watercolor. So you didn't miss anything if you're joining me the second half of this live, because the internet likes to go down sometimes. And that's kind of the world we're living in these days, right? Having to be at the mercy of the internet. When it comes to drawing rocks, you just want to add, again, it is like another oval. So it's like a half oval, just like that. Isn't this fun that you can be watercoloring together with me? And you just, it's all, everything is like an oval or a square or something you already know. So if you think about whenever you're drawing, think of things in terms of the basic shapes that you're already aware of. You can draw anything. Ooh, that's a little wet. Okay. So yeah, if you have questions, please put them in the comments and we'll get through the live together. We will get through this live together. Oh, I feel so bad about that. But what do you do, right? All right, so here are my rocks, and kind of need another something right here in the middle. I just feel like I am missing something here. So I'm going to grab just a little bit of this green and bring that cactus down here to fill that in. So I'm pretty happy with that. I love the way this looks. And it is starting to dry, which is nice. Okay. So, oh good, Diana's still here. So sorry about the internet, Diana. It does happen sometimes. Oh. And we can let that bother us, or we can say no. We're not going to let it bother us. And I don't think I'm going to let it bother me today. I want to do the words the gospel. I'm trying to figure out where to do it at. Let me just hold off on this and write a little quick prayer, because I love to write prayers in my Bible. Do you guys write prayers in your Bible? Do you like to do that? Charlotte wants to know, what colors am I using? That's a great question, Charlotte. Let me grab those colors for you. My main color that I'm using, so whenever I'm using these watercolor tins, I put the colors that they wrap around on the back. So I just glue them with tape so that I can always see what color it is. So this is Brilliant Green. This is my favorite one. You can see that it's like starting to kind of indent because I use it so much. So this is Olive Green. And then I have Peak Green. And those are just the three that I've been using. Okay. For the yellow, I used Brilliant Yellow. And for the orange, I used Flesh, which is actually weird that it looks so orange. And then I used Carmine for the red on the top. And then for the browns, for the rocks, I used Red Ochre and brown. So feel free to use whatever colors you want that are close to those. And if you have the same set as mine, then you know exactly what I used, and you can just copy it, and it's totally okay with me. I'm gonna write a little prayer here. And this is a Posca pen. I love my Posca pens. If you've seen any of my videos, I'm always using a Posca pen at the end for details and things like that. But I'm just going to write a prayer of thanks. So I'm just going to do, Lord, thank you for the gospel. That is a little bit wet, so it might have a hard time sticking. And if you ever work with something wet and you put a sticker on top of it and you have a hard time sticking it, you can always come over the top of it with some matte medium later if you want to. Just be careful if you're using matte medium on top of watercolor, that will pull up that watercolor and kind of blend it in. So just be careful. Thank you for the gospel. And then I like to always kind of outline these with my Posca pen. Like that. And then I'm going to say, you know, help me to share it more. Something on this Posca pen, like a little hair, kind of gave me a little bit of a scratchiness to the color, but that's okay. All right, so there's that. And if I want to draw, I can use some of these Posca pens. I've got a little bit of a kind of a nick kind of going on over here. So I could take one of these Posca pens that I have. And if you do have a new Posca pen, I always burp it first. To burp it, for those of you who are familiar with Tupperware, you would always just like open up the lid to get the air out. And it's the same kind of thing here. You just press down. Did you hear that? You may not have heard it, but it does release the pressure. And then to get one of these started, you just shake it up and then you just kind of depress it down until the ink starts to flow. And these are just acrylic pens. I use them a lot for details. So as I'm working any details with my Bible journaling. And so I'm just going to get that ink to come down. Hopefully it comes down sometime today. Okay. Oh, Amanda Hargrove made it. Hey, Amanda, she says, I made it for a second. Yeah, Amanda's teaching both her kids, so she doesn't have a lot of time. I'm so glad you joined us, hon. We're here working on the gospel. We're in Matthew chapter 24, verse 14, and I'm just using watercolors. I created a little cactus here, and then I'm just going to come in here and kind of mess around with this one here. Or maybe I'll just create a little ocotillo cactus. Why not? And ocotillo cactuses are really just a bunch of lines, guys. Right? You don't have to worry too much when it comes to the ocotillo cactuses. I had a little boo-boo on the side, so I thought, why not make a little ocotillo cactus here? And we think about like a new day and a new day to share the gospel in this dry desert of a world we have sometimes, right? Let's see. Maybe I do a little bit of orange. Oh, and it's already ready to go. So the orange, it could be just like little dots for flowers, guys. You don't have to make a Monet. It just has to be a representation. And I think your eyes know that these are flowers on the ocotillo here. You can do the same thing on the cactus as well. You see here, this cactus has a really pretty flower on it. You could come in here as well and do the little white specks. You can do the little white specks. I can use a little white Posca pen. These are just acrylic pens. And you can do acrylic on top of watercolor. And then you can just add those little dots as you go. Just like, you know, here we go. Little dots, no worries. Dot, 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 as we're thinking about the gospel. Now, if your watercolor is still wet, you will get a little bit of a fanning out of your color, of your acrylic, if your acrylic is really wet too. Don't worry about it. Just let it go. It's okay. Okay? Like I have a little bit of fan going out right there. But I like it. I think it's cool. And then later, after it's dry, you can always come in and do a little bit of a black on the white to kind of represent a little bit of a thorn, you know, a little bit of a thorn. But I think this looks pretty good. I might, you know, sometimes if I'm Bible journaling by myself, I might just come in and add some more little, you know, interests, a little bit of interest here and there. I love to come in with different colors and do like crosses and things, just little details. I just have a lot of fun doing that. The pink doesn't really go with this, but that's okay. You can even continue to write more prayer here, but I'm pretty happy with the way it's going. And I really like how this came out. So I'm going to let it stand, and I probably will call it done because I think this is as I'm kind of thinking about the gospel and thinking about how I want to share it, we could see how the Holy Spirit moves with us in the Bible journaling part of it when we start representing things in pictures. Because here I am telling you, how grateful I am of the opportunity to share the gospel, but I'm sharing the gospel in such a dry desert world. And in this world it can be thorny, and in this world it can be sticky, and I need to continue to push through that and share the good news with those who just either are not understanding it, never have heard it, or believe in a false gospel. So we just need to share it as much as we can, and just, continue to share the good news. It's so important. So I hope that you really enjoyed this time as we work together in the gospel this month. And I hope this was a really easy way for you to see how you can Bible journal. Let me go switch cameras so I can say hi. Hi. Always, every time we do these lives, I'm always like ending it like super sweaty because all the lights and stuff in here. So let me see if there are any questions here. I want to make sure. Oh, Cookie says she writes prayers in her Bible. Yeah, I do too a lot. I really do like to do that, which is why the Inspired Prayer Bible really spoke to me when I showed that last month, if you haven't had a chance to see that. And I think I have the review of that finally coming out in September. So in the next week or two, you'll see that review come out. So you'll see that. Mary wants to know, is the travel journal in the kit designed to work with the overall study for the month, i.e., can you respond to the questions by using the journal? Can you respond? The traveling journal. Okay, so the traveling journal, let me see which one. I'm going to grab it here for you so I can show you guys what she's asking. So here is, so this is a traveler's notebook. Okay, and so what you can do with the traveler's notebook is you can make one. You just fold them in half and fold it in half, cut it along the edge, and then you have a lot of blank papers. Then you can use this along with your gospel devotional, right? And then you can answer the questions in here that are prompted in here. There are some people I know that will take the gospel and shrink it down and print it so it's like halfway. And they use that as well. So that's what Mary's asking about the travel journal in the kit. It's really, the travel journal is designed to give you additional journaling space, so that you can answer the questions in there, but you can also, study it more. You can take some time to write prayers in there. It's just like a supplement. It doesn't have the questions in it. It just is really an extra kind of supplement for those of us who like the smaller, compact versions of things. So hopefully that helps. I'm not sure if I answered it right, Mary. If you still have questions, just email me at support@BibleJournalingMinistries.com, and I'd be happy to answer those for you. Let me put that in the chat so that you guys have that if you want to email me later. Oops, is it not going to let me do that? support@BibleJournalingMinistries.com. So yeah, if you have more questions and I didn't answer them today, make sure that you email me. All right. Diana says her cactus looks funny. I'm so sorry. Okay. Well, it looks like let's see. Thank you for explaining why you use the cactus, and thanks for the my pleasure. I'm so glad. And yes, I will make sure this is replaying live for you. That you will have the replay, and I'll have to probably put the two together. I don't know how it works when the internet goes down, but I know we had a little bit of a problem during this live. So thank you guys so much for joining me. Thank you so much for sticking in. I know it's been kind of a crazy live, so I'm so glad that you joined me. And don't forget, if you have questions, let me know. And I can't wait to talk to you next month as we talk about fear. I think that's October's theme, so it'll be really fun. But until then, let's really dive deep into the gospel. I think it's an important topic. All right. Love you guys. See you next month. Okay. Bye.